Hi there, VC. It's Steve Whitty here. This is episode 5 of my Stars on 45 run. So this is the last batch of singles I've got to show you. Let's have one last slurp. Oh no, I've drank all my coffee, all my tea. Oh dear, my throat goes out. Then you know what's happened. As I said, this is the final batch of 45s that I've coming across. I'm going to show you. So let's start. First up, and on the original On the Fly label, Hot Love by TRex. I got it on the black label, but this was a different label. You know you become a collector when you start doing this. B-side, Woodland Rock and King of the Mountain Cometh. So it's still a nod to the old hippie days. This is Them, Baby Please Don't Go, backed by Gloria. So classic Van Morrison there. It's as good as it got. I know they had a number one for Here Comes the Night, but to me it's as good as it gets for the band. The Who, Pete Townsend. Well, it's not The Who, it's Pete Townsend, Rough Boys in 1980, the debut lead single from his solo album. And I'm just trying to think what it scored. The B-side's On Our Move. Let me check if it tells me what the album is. You know what? Empty Glass, of course. Should have known that because I've just recently got it. So there you go. And I said at the time when I posted this on Facebook, this is one of the best singles of the 80s. This is Wishing Well by Terence Trent D'Arby. This is his follow-up to If You Let Me Stay. But this sort of highlighted that this was potentially an artist that had a little bit more to him than just pop. I mean, the whole album, The Hard Line, is just an absolute great album. It's just a pity he had such a high opinion of himself, and in a way that sort of dragged him back, because I think he became a bit of a figure of fun. His second album absolutely stank the place out, and then he did follow it up, but now I don't think he calls himself Terence Trent D'Arby anymore. I think he killed him off. U2, this is the Unforgettable Fire. This is the double single pack. So you've got Unforgettable. Get this out. So you've got Unforgettable Fire. You've got a live version of A Sort of Homecoming, which was produced by Tony Visconti. And then on second disc, you've got some outtakes. The Free Sunrises and Love Comes Tumbling and 60 Seconds in Kingdom Come. So just have that as a bit of a curiosity. Some tracks there. UB40, I've got some their singles. This is my way of thinking. This was the follow-up to King and Food for Thought. That's the lead track, and then I think it's going to rain today. Again, it's a double A side. And then they followed it up towards the end of 1980 with Dream a Lie and The Earth Dies Screaming. And around that point, they got an offer to leave Graduates and sort out their own label, which was Depp International. And probably the best known track, this is an absolute corking track. This is 1 in 10. And with Present Arms in dub. From 1981, Ultravox Vienna. This was voted the nation's favourite number 2. Yes, it got to number 2. It was held off number 1 by Joel Dolce's Shout Up Your Face. Got B-side, Passionate Reply. A lot of it was to do with the video. The video is spectacular. For its time, was spectacular. It was like a film in itself. Most of it was shot in London, but they did fly the band out to do bits walking around Vienna. And then, because they originally started out on Island Records, Ireland sort of tried to cash in by releasing some tracks of their Slow Motion, Quiet Men, Hiroshima One and More. Obviously, this features John Fox on vocals when he was in the band. So it's their period from 77 to 79. Something that's a bit always upbeat, and I enjoy listening to. This is put it the right way around. Unit 4+2, Concrete and Clay, backed up with When I Fall in Love, which is that totally different. It's so awful, that version of that song. But Concrete and Clay is just a great pop song. I think Randy Ailman had a hit single of it version with it in the UK as well. And then, who's up for some Wet Willie? This is Dixie Rock from the Capricorn label. She's a lady. I think it might have been a minor hit single in the UK. Somewhat from the Sublime to Ridiculous. Growing up as a kid, the Wombles featured heavily. The Wombles it's a children's book that became a TV series, animated TV, a puppet TV series. And basically, Wombles lived on Wimbledon Common, and their job was basically recycle. They'd pick up all the rubbish that's left behind and recycle it. Little fairy characters. You've got Great Uncle Bulgaria, Tobermory, Bongo Orinoco, Madame Cholet, Wellington. They were all named after places. Tomsk was another one. And Mike Batt did the chip theme song to the song, and that got picked up as a single and it became a hit single. So you get this band appearing dressed up as the characters from the Wombles. You got Mike Batt dressed up as Orinoco. You got Chris Spedding played guitar. He's there with his Flying V, dressed as Wellington. So the follow-up to the Wombling song was Remember You're a Womble. Wow, what a classic tune that is. And then B-side, Bungo's Birthday. And then, as we're coming into October, Christmas not far away, you've got Wombling Merry Christmas and B-side, Madame Cholet. So I'll look forward to playing that in December. No Christmas songs until December, I'll have you know. XTC, let's change that. XTC, Life Begins at the Hop, and B-side Homo Sapien. I used to have this single when I first had it in this version. Didn't have it in colour, but I think it might have been clear, but vinyl. But this is black version. You just got the way the old dance set was. It's sort of that homage. It's Colin Moulding. I think he wrote this song. This is just a great song. Very sounds towards the end, a bit like Under My Thumb, parts of it with the guitar. They followed it up with Making Plans for Nigel, which was their first top 20 hit in the UK. Again, that's a Colin Moulding song. Bushman, the B-side, Bushman President, and Pulsing were Andy Partridge songs. I think James Griffiths did a appreciation of Colin Moulding, and I think he might have mentioned that it might have caused a little bit of tension because obviously Colin Moulding was writing the hits. Andy Partridge, though, may have been the de facto leader. I don't know. I'll leave that to you to decide if that was the case. Something from 1980, Yarborough and Peoples, Don't Stop the Music. Very keyboard based, actually really good like dance song. B-side, You're My Song. And then to finish this batch of singles, I've got some EPs, various artists. Now this is on the Pie label. This is known as the Hitmakers. And so you've got on side one, you've got the Kinks, and they're doing You Really Got Me. You've got the Shangri-Las, Remember Walking in the Sand. Then you've got the Honeycombs, Have I the Right, which was the last number one that Joe Meek produced. And then you have Tony Jackson, who was the original bass player in the Searchers with Bye Bye Baby. And then the last lot were EPs given free by Sounds music magazine. Now Sounds was probably my magazine paper of choice during this 80s. Sadly no longer going. And first one, Sounds Showcase 1, had The Cult, The Four, The Outlaw Net, and The Go-Betweens. They were all artists on Beggar's Banquet. So you've got Outlaw from the Electric album. You've got The Four with Hey Luciani, the original version. Then you got The Adult Net, which was Big Smith's band, Spin This Web. Then you got The Go-Betweens, I Just Get Caught Out. Then the next one, which I think might have been something to do with 4AD. This is number 3. This features the Sugar Cubes with the song Motor Crash, The Wedding Present, Go and Get 'Em Out Boy, which was a live version. Pixies, Down to the Well, Rock Out of My Soul, and the Pogues, Kitty, which is another live song. And then the final one is you've got the Sounds Machine, and this is episode 3, and this features Steve Earle, San Antonio Girl, McCarthy, Should the Bible Be Banned, Ahaz, Watch Out You're Dead, and then finally Hot House at Flowers, Saved, which was a live version recorded at Glasgow University. So there you go, VC. That's all the 45s I've had recently. I've got some more, but I haven't played them yet, so I won't do anything until afterwards, until after I've played them. Thank you for sticking through all 5 episodes, if you have done. If you liked what you see, click on the subscribe button. I'll be forever grateful. 229 subscribers, which is not too bad. Yeah, to hear me whittering away. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Love that interaction. And feel free to comment. I will get back to you. So, as this is the last of the 5 videos, I was really had a bit of a thought, a comment. Yesterday, I was quite saddened to read that a couple of people in the VC has now stopped doing videos because of negative comments or sniping. And it has left me feeling a little bit sad because in this world, this crazy world we live in, one of the few pleasures, the things that give positives, that gives me positive, is music, listening to music, and interacting with people, watching the videos. And I think we'd like to think a bit bigger than actually being sniping, having a go at people. I just think, in the scheme of things, not liking somebody's taste in music isn't the greatest crime in the world. It's not the worst thing to have in the world. But just to be respectful. And I think that's the thing I would love to say is just be respectful to each other. Also, next week I'm meeting up with some of the guys in Leeds. We're going to a record fair. I think it's James, Martin, John. I definitely know coming. I'll be there. So probably spending some money and having a pint or two. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'll end it there. Enjoy your Sunday or enjoy your week. Let's see. Keep spinning. Take care of yourselves and keep spinning. More importantly, keep smiling. See you later, VC.